take a look at last week's job creations, which was a pretty good number. Then we'll get to the real story. The headlines read, jobs grew stronger than expected in October, unemployment falls. Now, we created 908,000 jobs, but we lost 268,000. That will be a key point later, for a net number of 638,000 jobs, beating expert predictions of 530,000 jobs. But where did they come from? Let's go quickly so I don't bury the lead. Leisure and hospitality led the way with 271,000. Let's hope that continues and doesn't reverse with COVID cases rising. The professional and business sector was a bright spot with 208,000. You can see the rest for yourselves. But let's take a look at the bottom there. Government lost 268,000 jobs. What happened? Well, on a federal level, government employment decreased by 138,000 thanks to a loss of 147,000 temporary 2020 census workers. On state and local levels, education employment fell by 61,400 and 97,800. So I tend to nerd out on these things and go to the source, hence our name, the RE Source. Anyways, it's a little shocking when you look into the government sector and how they are being affected by COVID. What you'll uncover when you do is some crazy headlines like U.S. states face biggest cash crisis since the Great Depression. And that's from a reputable source, the Wall Street Journal. And speaking of nerding out, head over to the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities website, because who wouldn't on a Friday night with their favorite glass of bourbon? If you do, you'll cozy up to such statements as, state revenues are declining precipitously and costs are rising sharply, with many businesses closed and tens of millions of people newly unemployed. How short, you might ask? Just a few $100 billion. Or another way to put it would be, the drop in tax revenues has led to a total shortfall expected in the hundreds of billions of dollars, greater than 2019's K-12 education budget for every state combined, or more than twice the amount spent that year on state roads and other transportation infrastructure. The good news is we can make up the windfall by a growing consensus to cut the budget for K-12 schools. Whew. Well, we all wondered how we were going to pay for this stimulus-free money. Well, I guess it's going to be our kids. Quote, damaging cuts have already begun, and Georgia policymakers approved a 10% cut for 2021, including a $1 billion cut for K-12 public schools and cuts to programs for children and adults with developmental disabilities, amongst others. Oof. That's not awesome. Maryland enacted $413 million in emergency spending cuts, including large cuts to colleges and universities. Florida cut money for community colleges and services related to behavioral health, including opiate and other substance abuse treatment services, crisis intervention services, and services for people experiencing homelessness. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. We all knew there would be ramifications to all this. I just don't know that taking from K through 12, our colleges and our crisis prevention centers is the best way to do it. How bad is it for your state? Glad you ask. We have that source as well. California knows how to party, but they also know how to lose money with a $32 billion decline in revenues. New York will fall by $13 billion in 2021 and continue to fall by $16 billion in 2022. Here's how your state looks now and into 2021. Hey, the good news is, guys, housing remains strong and jobs are coming back. But let us not forget that there are some real COVID ramifications coming our way. Contrary to popular belief, you can't shut down the entire economy without some real fallout. We've outlined a little bit of that today. It's not awesome news, but it does deserve to be shared and talked about. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully with some better news.